keep another score. One cheap dinner, now you're acting like a saint. When she says she's not interested, suddenly she ain't. You called her beautiful, opened every door, but only till she told you what her answer was for sure. Now you're cussing in the group chat, saying she's a tease, like kindness was an invoice and affection came with fees. You say you want love, but love takes time. Not everything worth having happens overnight. We're lonely together, but some don't understand. A heart isn't a prize that you win with your hand. You bought a dinner, not her trust, not her soul. A date isn't a contract, and a no still means no. We're lonely together. Everybody's keeping score, then wondering why nobody believes in love anymore. Believes in love anymore. Yeah. Now hold on, girls. We got some things to say, cause we ain't innocent either at the end of the day. Some of y'all want 6 feet, 6 figures, perfect face, then wonder where the good ones went in the first place. Turning people into checklists, measuring worth like a human heart's a product with the barcode on the shirt. We've all fed the monster, let's tell the truth. Loneliness ain't something that belongs to one group. Everybody's pointing fingers from opposite sides. Nobody's asking why we're all so tired. We're lonely together, but some don't understand. Her body isn't a prize that you win with your hand. You bought a dinner, not her choice, not her soul. A date isn't a contract, and a no still means no. We're lonely together. Everybody's keeping score, then wondering why nobody believes in love anymore. Believes in love anymore. Yeah, you spent $20 and now you're acting like a victim, sir. That's not dating, that's a transaction system. If respect disappears the second she declines, then respect was never there. You were waiting for a sign. And girls, if we're honest, we got issues too. Social media standards got us judging what's true. Everybody's playing games, everybody's afraid. Then we wonder why connection feels impossible to make. Her body isn't Reddit, her body isn't sold, her body isn't old, her body isn't guilt, her body isn't yours, her body isn't something you bargain and trade. We're lonely together, searching for something real. Not another temporary high or another cheap thrill. You can buy a meal, but you can't buy a body. That's when you need to wake the fuck up. The bear doesn't smile and shake my hand, doesn't tell me all the things I wanna hear, doesn't swear he's different, swear he's safe, then disappear and leave me scared. The bear doesn't hide behind a grin, doesn't wear a halo made of lies. When I look into a bear's dark eyes, at least I know what's on his mind. Teeth are teeth and claws are claws, the danger's written plain. To see what scares me isn't what can hurt me, it's what pretends it never would. That's why I choose the bear, not because the bear is kind, not because the bear won't hurt me or leave me fighting for my life. I choose the bear because he's honest, he never claims to be a saint. The bear is exactly what he looks like, it's the mask that makes me afraid. It's the mask that makes me afraid. The bear shows its claws, the snake will hiss, the storm will warn before it comes. But evil rarely shows its face, it learns to speak in gentle tongues. A monster doesn't look like one, not in the stories that I've heard. It looks like someone Turn on the TV, pick a side, get angry, buy the prize. Welcome to the machine where the truth gets bent. Every headline's rage bait, every dollar gets spent. Politicians playing heroes while they're shaking the same hands, acting like opponents while they're drawing up the plans. Got influencers selling self-worth in the course, selling confidence to people while they're filing for divorce. Got corporations painting rainbows, painting flags, painting trends. Long as you keep spending, they don't care how it ends. Everybody's got a tribe, everybody's got a team, everybody's got a villain, everybody's got a dream, everybody's got an enemy. They blame for every scar while the people at the top laugh and count it from afar. Red or blue, left or right, keep us fighting every night. We are feeding the machine with every click and every scream. They keep us angry, keep us scared, keep us divided. Unaware, we point our fingers, miss the strings, never see who's pulling things while we're busy choosing sides. The machine just gets bigger. The machine just gets bigger. Yeah. They got boys hating girls, girls hating boys. Everybody's got an audience applauding all the noise. Got kids growing up online looking for a place to stand, getting handed an identity before they understand. Got beauty sold as misery, fear sold as fact, outrage sold as entertainment, then they wonder why we're cracked. Every app is a casino, every scroll another spin. Everybody chasing dopamine, nobody can win. Red or blue, left or right, keep us fighting every night. We are feeding the machine with every click and every scream. They keep us angry, keep us scared, keep us divided. Unaware, we point our fingers, miss the strings, never see who's pulling things while we're busy choosing sides. The machine just gets bigger. Shut up! That's all they want from us. Shut up and consume. Shut up and obey. Shut up and hate your neighbor. Shut up and pick a side. Shut up and stay distracted. Shut up and never ask why. Who profits from the fear? Who profits from the lies? Who profits every single time another family divides? Maybe the enemy isn't your neighbor. Maybe the enemy isn't that guy online. Maybe the people selling the poison are the same ones selling the cure. We are feeding the machine with every click and every scream. They keep us angry, keep us scared, keep us divided. Unaware, no more puppets on their strings, no more clowns for broken kings. If they profit from the fight, maybe it's time we stop giving them one. The machine doesn't care who wins. It only cares that we keep playing. You tell your daughter she's beautiful, exactly the way she is. Tell your son to love himself, then laugh at the way he lives. You say that everybody matters, every shape and every size, and turn around and tear him down for things he can't redesign. A little too short, a little too thin, not enough money, not enough skin. Funny how acceptance ends when the target's him. We built a world of mirrors, then wonder why we're broken. eventually win. You don't ask me what I dream about. You don't ask me what keeps me awake. You know my waist, my lips, my body, but not a single thing that makes me me. I'm so tired of being seen but never known. I'm more than a body, more than a fantasy, more than a late night text when you're feeling lonely. I'm more than what I give you, more than what you take. Stop measuring my value by what access you can gain. I am a person, not a prize, not a conquest, not a game. Somewhere along the way you learned a woman's worth lives in her beauty and what she'll do for your attention. Then you act surprised when trust becomes a rare thing, when every compliment feels loaded and every motive gets questioned. Because we've heard it all before, the sweet words, the practice lines, the promises that disappear the second we draw a line. You call it confidence, I call it entitlement. I'm more than a body, more than a fantasy, more than a late night text when you're feeling lonely. I'm more than what I give you, more than what you take. Stop measuring my value by what access you can gain. I am a person, not a prize, not a conquest, not a game. Maybe that's why we're angry, maybe that's why we're tired. Maybe we're sick of being treated like products on a shelf. Maybe we're sick of being told that our worth is in our bodies, then blamed for the consequences of living in that world. I don't owe you beauty, I don't owe you desire, I don't owe you the version of me you built inside your mind. I'm more than a body, more than your expectations, more than your assumptions, more than your imagination. If that's disappointing, then maybe that's the truth. You never wanted who I was, you only wanted what you could use. Look me in the eyes, not at the body, and tell me you see a human being. When I was 7 years old, I cared about dragons and dirt, tree forts, scraped knees, and figuring out how the world worked. I wasn't thinking about dating, wasn't thinking about love, wasn't trying to figure out what gender I'd grow up dreaming of. So tell me why every conversation keeps coming back to this. Why does childhood feel smaller every year that passes? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, maybe I just don't see, but something about this feels strange to me. Why are we talking about children's romance? Why are we talking about who they'll love? Why are grown adults so interested in questions they're too young to answer? Why can't conversation. You say it's helping them feel seen, but why are their bodies becoming such a common theme? Straight, gay, trans, doesn't matter, that's not really my point. Why does every road keep leading back to subjects they shouldn't have to worry about? Can't we talk about friendship? Can't we talk about courage? Can we talk about kindness? Can we talk about dreams? Why does growing up seem to start earlier every year? Maybe help me understand, because I genuinely don't know. Why are we talking about children's bodies? Why are we talking about who they'll love? Why are grown adults so interested in questions they're too young to answer? Why can't kids just be kids? Why can't we let them grow? Why does everybody seem in such a hurry for childhood to be over? Maybe the problem isn't one side. Maybe the problem is all of us projecting grown-up conversations onto people still learning how to ride a bike, still learning multiplication, still trying to figure out who they are without a million adults telling them who they're supposed to be. Why are we talking about children's romance? Why are we drawing lines in the sand? Why can't we give them a little more time before we hand them grown-up questions? Let them climb trees, let them make mistakes, let them be children for childhood's sake. Why are adults so invested in children's sexual orientation? Why are you so invested in a child's body? Maybe I'm not old-fashioned. Maybe I'm just not a predator. You quote the verses, you know them by heart. You can point to every chapter, you can tell me every part. You say you're standing for the truth, you say you're standing for what's right. Then why's your first reaction anger every single time? Why do your words sound colder than the savior that you claim? Why do you speak of mercy, then lead with fear and shame? If all they see is hatred, then what are we reflecting? Love like Jesus, that's what he asked us to do. Not scream a little louder, not throw stones across the room. You don't have to celebrate it, you don't have to change your view. But if you're gonna wear his name, then love like Jesus too. Love like Jesus too. Maybe we disagree, maybe we always will. Maybe we read the same pages and walk away different still. But tell me, are they happy? Are they hurting you? Are they living their own lives the same way you're allowed to? Because every soul is human, every heart is known, and none of us were ever given the right to sit upon the throne.